Dynamic, quick-cut montage of a bustling, chaotic airport. Travelers looking stressed, running for gates, long security lines, a child crying. Upbeat, slightly tense music plays. Ever feel like your dream vacation starts with a nightmare? You've saved for it, dreamed of it, packed the perfect suitcase, you're standing in a terminal that feels more like a pressure cooker, and suddenly, the person you've shared your life with for 40 years is your absolute nemesis. It's the debate over the carry-on, the silent fury over the wrong gate, the "I told you we should have left earlier" that hangs in the air, thicker than jet fuel. For decades, we've called it travel tension. But last Tuesday, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos gave it a new, hilarious, and brutally honest name. They called it an airport divorce, that moment of glorious, temporary, theatrical separation. You go your way, I'll go mine, we'll meet at the gate and pretend we don't know each other until we're safely at 30,000 feet. It was a moment that made millions of us laugh and nod in recognition. But what Kelly and Mark did next, that's the real story. They didn't just have a moment, they sparked a revolution. A new way of traveling for those of us who've earned our stripes, our wrinkles, and our right to a little peace and quiet. This isn't just a story about a celebrity couple, this is a story about freedom, about rewriting the rules of the golden years, one airport, one adventure, one conscious uncoupling at the terminal at a time. Because what if the secret to traveling better, smarter, and with more joy in this chapter of our lives was hidden in that very public, very funny divorce? Stay with me, because over the next few minutes, we're going to unpack the suitcase of this brilliant new trend. We'll explore the art of the solo together vacation, discover how to turn a layover into a personal pilgrimage, and I'll introduce you to a couple from Phoenix who took the airport divorce concept and turned it into the adventure of a lifetime, saving their sanity and rekindling a spark they thought was long behind them. This is for everyone who believes the best journeys aren't just about the destination, but about who you become along the way. That moment between Kelly and Mark was more than a funny photo. It was a flash of pure genius. A public service announcement for every couple over 60 who has ever white-knuckled it through a TSA line. But let's dig deeper. Why does travel, something we're supposed to love, become such a trigger? It's because for 40-plus years, travel wasn't about us. It was about getting the family to Disneyland in one piece. It was about herding kids, managing car seats, and packing for every conceivable catastrophe. We were travel directors, not travel participants. The airport was a battlefield of logistics, not a gateway to wonder. So when we arrive there now, just the two of us, those old neural pathways of stress fire up. We're conditioned for chaos. The airport divorce is a circuit breaker. It's a conscious mutual agreement to say, the old rules do not apply here. It's the recognition that you are two individual, competent adults who can navigate a terminal without being tethered at the hip. This is the first thrilling step into what I'm calling the golden gap year. Not a year off from life, but a new intentional approach to the time we have left. This is our time for solo together vacation. Imagine this. You arrive at the airport, you share a kiss at the curb, then, with a wink, you part ways. You perhaps head straight for the bookstore you love, then find a quiet bar for a contemplative glass of wine. Your partner makes a beeline for the tech store to ogle the new gadgets, then grabs a giant pretzel. There's no rushing, no compromising, no low-grade resentment. You are both having your own miniature adventure before the big one even begins. You reunite at the gate, not as frayed nerves and short tempers, but as two people with stories to tell. You should have seen the novel I found. They have a virtual reality headset over there. The trip begins with curiosity and shared discovery, not with a debrief of the security line. This divorce isn't about separation, it's about creating a more beautiful reunion over and over again. And this philosophy, my friends, doesn't have to end at the airport. In fact, the most transformative part often happens when you land. So you've mastered the airport. You've arrived in Rome or Santa Fe or on that Alaskan cruise refreshed and genuinely happy to see each other. Bravo! Now let's turn the airport divorce into the vacation vow renewal. How? Through the power of what child psychologists call parallel play, and what we, the wise and wonderful, can call having your cannoli and eating it too. For decades, our vacations were a delicate dance of negotiation. If I go to the War Museum with you, you have to come to the Botanical Gardens with me. The result? Often two people having a moderately okay time instead of one person having the time of their life. The new trend is scheduled independence. It sounds so formal, but it's pure magic. It's sitting down with the guidebook over breakfast, a truly glorious, leisurely breakfast because there are no kids to feed, and saying, right, what does your soul need today? Maybe his soul needs to rent a Vespa and get gloriously lost on the back roads of Tuscany. Maybe her soul needs to find a quiet piazza, a journal, and a 2-hour espresso. The agreement, you meet for dinner. And this is where the alchemy happens. Over a bottle of local wine, you aren't the same two people who shared a lukewarm coffee at the airport 8 hours ago. He's bursting with stories about the old man who helped him fix a phantom rattle on the Vespa. She's glowing from a conversation with a local artist she met in that piazza. You have brought something to the table besides your appetites. You have new energy, new stories, new perspectives. You are fascinating to each other all over again. This parallel play honors the individuals you have worked a lifetime to become. It acknowledges that your passions are not identical, and that is your strength, not a weakness to be managed. You are collecting not just souvenirs, but individual experiences that become the bedrock of your shared memories. It's the ultimate and instead of or. But to make this work, to truly embrace this freedom, you need a secret weapon, a tool that transforms potential anxiety into absolute liberation. I can hear some of you now. That sounds lovely, but what if he gets lost? What if she can't find the restaurant? 40 years ago, this would have been a legitimate concern. We'd be handing each other paper maps and setting frantic meeting times at clock towers. But today we hold in our pockets a miracle that would have seemed like science fiction in our youth. The smartphone is the peace treaty that makes the airport divorce and the parallel play vacation not just possible, but blissfully worry-free. Think of it. You're exploring the spice market in Istanbul, mesmerized by the colors. He's across town at a history museum. In the old days, this would be a recipe for stress. Now, you can share your live location with each other indefinitely. A quick glance at your phone shows a little dot, your person, safely at the museum. The peace of mind is immeasurable. You can both fully immerse in your own experience without that underlying hum of, I hope they're okay. Then there are the shared digital photo albums. As you're sipping your tea, you get a ping. It's a photo from him, a bizarre ancient artifact he knows will make you laugh. You ping back a picture of a pyramid of saffron. You're sharing your journey in real time, a silent, sweet conversation happening across the city. And when it's time to reconnect, no frantic payphone calls, a simple text. Found a wonderful little cafe near the fountain, sharing my location. See you soon. The technology doesn't isolate us. It seamlessly connects us on our own terms, freeing us to be truly apart without ever feeling lost. It's the digital tether that allows the physical freedom. But what does this look like in the real world? Not for celebrities, but for people just like you and me. The story of Carol and Ben from Phoenix is all the proof you'll need. Carol and Ben had been married for 43 years. Their kids, bless them, gifted them a 2-week tour of Ireland for their anniversary. It was the trip of a lifetime, but the lead-up was tense. Ben remembered their last big trip, a decade prior, and the endless silent fights in rental car lots. Carol dreaded Ben's efficient mode, where he became a vacation drill sergeant. Then they saw the story about Kelly and Mark's airport divorce. They laughed, but it stuck with them. The night before their flight, over a glass of wine, Ben, uncharacteristically vulnerable, said, "What if we just don't do that, Tim, this time?" So they made a pact. At Phoenix Sky Harbor, they did it. They divorced. Carol headed for the closest Starbucks and a novel. Ben found a sports bar and ordered wings. They texted each other silly selfies. When they met at the gate, they were giddy. But they took it further. In Dublin, Carol wanted to see every literary museum and wander bookstores. Ben wanted to tour the Guinness Storehouse and find traditional music pubs. So they did. They made a loose plan each morning, shared their locations, and went their separate ways. In the evenings, they'd meet for a pint and dinner, and the stories would pour out. Carol told Ben, her voice cracking with emotion,